Hey, it's Pete here, and today I wanted to teach you how to play transfers. Now, when you're learning any bridge convention, it's important to understand what makes a good convention. And for that, it's easy to remember, it comes up a lot, it solves a problem, and you don't lose too much by playing it. Now, transfers are one of the best. They tick all those boxes. They're actually a really solid convention. But what is a transfer? So a transfer might come up in a situation like this, and basically you're just bidding the suit below the one you've actually got. So here, if we bid 2 hearts, this would say I have 5 or more spades. And if instead you bid 2 diamonds, it would say I've got 5 or more hearts. That's basically what a transfer is. But let's go into why we actually play them, when we play them, who uses them, and what you should follow on with, like what's sort of your strategy in trying to use them. So first of all, why do we actually want to play transfers? Now, you'll hear one reason a lot for transfers, but that's probably not the main reason. So the reason that you often hear people play transfers is you want the strong hand to actually declare. Now, if we play a transfer and we bid 2 diamonds showing hearts, if our partner bids 2 hearts, the 1 no trump bid is usually the stronger hand, and they declare this. And this is completely true. It is useful to do that, but that's not the main benefit of transfers. They actually just give you a lot more space. You have a lot more types of hands you can bid by transferring, because when you do this, you're guaranteeing yourself another bid. And now you can transfer to hearts, and you can bid no trumps or jump in hearts or bid a new suit. Whereas without transfers, you just have to bid hearts, and then whether it be forcing or not, you might not actually get another choice. So transfers are fantastic at being able to help you describe a wide array of hands. So the 2 main reasons people play transfers: firstly, yes, you get the stronger hand to play. Secondly, you get to describe heaps of hands, and that is actually the main feature of transfers. So who actually gets to do the transfer? It's important in bridge when looking at conventions to work out who you are in the auction, and transfers are used by the responder and also occasionally by the advancer, the partner of the overcaller. So when do they actually apply? Transfers apply after a 1 no trump opening and also a 1 no trump overcall. So if we had an auction go like this, we could still do transfers here. So you could still have 2 hearts be a transfer to spades. You can also use transfers after a 2 no trump opening. So here we can have 3 diamonds be a transfer to hearts. You can also use it after you use your strong bids. So 2 clubs, 2 diamonds, 2 no trumps. We can still do transfers after this. And we can also do transfers after you overcall 2 no trumps in a fashion that's natural. So if the opponents open a weak 2 and you bid 2 no trumps, you could still have a transfer here. There's also a couple of areas where you may or may not do it. Some partnerships really like to play transfers, the others don't. And one is that if we open a no trump and then the opponent's double. So some people like to still do system on over that. Some people like to bid naturally. Discuss this one with your partner. You can also potentially do it over a 2 club interference. Again, discuss with your partner. Some people like to use double be Stamen and 2 diamonds be transfer to hearts here. Times it doesn't apply. So it's also useful to look at when transfers don't apply. So transfers don't apply after we've rebid 1 no trump. So if we have an auction like this, we don't do transfers here. This is not a transfer. We also don't do it after a 1 no trump response. So here, we don't do transfers at this stage. So transfers only apply after we've opened 1 no trump or overcalled 1 no trump, also a 2 no trump opening. And you can still do it over a double or also a 2 club interference, but discuss those with your partners. You don't do it when you respond 1 no trump. You don't do it when you rebid 1 no trump. You also don't do it if the opponents interfere with 2 diamonds or higher. All right, so again, we talked about what transfers show. When you open a no trump, you can bid the suit below the one you actually want. You can bid 2 diamonds and this shows 5 or more hearts, Or if you bid 2 hearts, this shows 5 or more spades. And we can do these with absolutely 0 points. You can do them with any time you have a 5-card major. So this doesn't need 6 or more points to do it. You can just bid this. And largely, if you had no points, you would prefer to be playing in your suit rather than in 1 no trump. So you can transfer anytime you've actually got a 5-card major. The next thing I wanted to touch on is, well, what would the 1 no trump bidder do if they don't have a fit? If they've only got 2 of them? They still accept the transfer. They are going to be bidding the suit up regardless. There is one advanced concept, which is called a super accept. I'll touch on that right at the end. But basically, the 1 no trump bidder will just accept the transfer. They'll bid the suit 1 above. So what's the responder actually meant to do with transfers? So they can get their partner to bid the suit, which is fantastic. But the way they want to be approaching this is they want to be asking 2 questions here. The first is, do they actually know they've got a fit? Now, when partner shows a balanced hand, if you've only got a 5-card suit, they might have 2, and you don't necessarily have a fit. You do have a playable spot though. Whereas if you've got 6, you know you have a fit and you're happy to play that. So the first question a responder wants to ask themselves is, do they know they definitely have a fit? And the way they follow up is if they've got 5 is different to if they've got 6 or more. The other thing that responder wants to ask is, are they weak, invitational, or game forcing? And these point ranges would actually vary based on what strength your no trump opening is. But I'll talk about 15 to 17 here. So what would be a weak hand as responder is about 0 to 7 points. You have no interest in game if you're in the 0 to 7 points, but you can still transfer and you're not showing any points when you do this. If you have 8 points and some bad 9 points, you're in the invitational range here. If you've got a really good 9 points or more, you're in the game forcing range. So the responder wants to be thinking, do I know I have a fit? And also, am I weak, invitational, or game forcing? And how they actually follow up after this is, if they're weak, if they're 0 to 7 points, they will pass. Whether they've got 5 or 6 spades here, they're going to just transfer and they're going to pass. If they're invitational, what they're going to do actually varies based on whether they know they have a fit. If you don't know you've got a fit because you've only got 5, then you always want to offer no trumps if you're invitational or stronger. So if you're invitational with 5 spades, your second bid would be 2 no trumps here. If instead that you had 6 or more spades, you know you've got a fit, but if you're invitational, you would instead bid 3 spades. Okay, so if we know we've got a fit, we insist on the suit. If we only have 5 and we might not have a fit, if we're going to proceed past 2 spades, we offer no trumps. Now, if we're in the game forcing range, sort of a good 9, 10 plus points, if we've only got 5, that's right, we offer no trumps here, but we bid game this time. And if we've got 6 and a game forcing strength hand, we want to jump to 4 spades here. So again, responder wants to think, am I weak, invitational, or game forcing? And do I know I have a fit or not? If I've got 5, if I'm invitational or better, I'm going to offer no trumps. If I've got 6, I'm going to insist on my suit because I know I have a fit here. So this is the main breakdown of what the responder does. So again, just a recap here. If they're 0 to 7 points, whether they've got 5 or 6, they're just going to pass. If they're an invitational hand with 5, they bid 2 no trumps. And if they're a game forcing strength hand with 5, they bid 3 no trumps. If instead you've got a 6-card major, you insist on your suit. And if you're invitational, you bid 3 of your major. And if you're game forcing, you actually just jump to game in that suit. So this is responder's strategy after they actually do a transfer. Now, what should the opener be thinking about afterwards? So firstly, when partner starts by transferring, whether you've got 2 or not isn't relevant at this stage. We just accept the transfer even with 2. So here we would bid 2 spades. This doesn't describe any more about your hand. So don't worry if you only have 2, you're still going to be bidding the transfer suit. The next thing is depending on what partner gives you a choice about. So sometimes partner will be asking, are you minimum or maximum, by making one of the invitational bids? Or sometimes they'll be asking, do you have 3 cards or not? So let's look at how this plays out. So if partner bids 3 spades, they're showing an invitational hand with 6 spades. So here they are just asking, are you minimum or maximum for your 1 no trump bid? So here, if you're 15 points, you just want to be passing because you're minimum. If you're 16 or 17, some people want only good 16s to accept an invite, then you would be bidding 4 spades. So here, partner is not asking you about, do you have 3 spades or not? They're just saying, are you minimum or are you maximum? So if you're minimum, you would pass. If you're maximum, you'd go on to 4. Alternatively, partner might be asking you, saying, I've got enough points for game. Do we actually have a fit? So here, if partner transfers to spades and then bids 3 no trumps, they're showing 5 spades and enough points to play in game. And now the opener's choice is, do I pass, which would say I've only got 2 spades, or do I go on to 4 spades, which would say I've got 3. Basically, they're saying, do we have a fit or not, by using this no trump bid. The toughest choice that the opener actually has is when partner transfers and then bids 2 no trumps. And here they're saying they're an invitational hand with 5 spades. And now there's 2 questions that opener wants to ask. Firstly, are they minimum or maximum? If they're maximum, they want to be bidding game. If they're minimum, they want to be staying in a part score. The other question they want to be answering is, do we have a fit or not? Do we have 3 spades? So the 4 choices opener has here is, if they are minimum, if they've only got 2 spades, they would pass. But if they had 3 spades and a minimum hand, they would go on to 3 spades. If the opener was maximum with only 2 spades, they would choose no trumps, but accept the game. They would go on to 3 no trumps. And if they were maximum with 3 card spade support, they would go to 4 spades. So they're trying to answer these 2 questions. Now, it's important to know that transfers are alertable. They're a convention, and the alerting procedures vary based on where you are. If you're in the US or in England, for instance, you would announce your bids. So here, if it went 1 no trump pass 2 hearts, the 1 no trump bidder would announce to the opponents, they would say spades because it's a transfer. In Australia, what you would do is you would just alert the bid, and if they ask about it, that's when you would explain it. But check with what your alerting procedures are in your local area. Now, this is actually the core of transfers. If you understand this far, you know what like 95% of people play about transfers, which is fantastic. So let's go look at some example hands, and then after that, I will actually talk through a few of the more extended options that are involved with transfers. Okay, so here, if we've got this hand with only 2 points and partner opens 1 no trump, what we'd want to do here is we don't want to be playing in 1 no trump. Our hand's too weak. So here we've got 5 hearts, and yes, they're 5 small hearts, but you can transfer here. We can transfer to hearts, and we're just going to pass. We don't necessarily have a fit in hearts, but 2 hearts will very often be a better spot than 1 no trump. So you just want to transfer here and then just pass partner's bid. We move on to this next hand. Here we've got a much nicer hand. We've got 9 points and 6 spades. So here we want to transfer to spades. So we bid 2 hearts, the suit under the one we've got. And then when partner bids 2 spades, we want to have made an evaluation of, are we weak, invitational, or game forcing? And also, do we have 5 or 6? So here we have 6, so we know we're going to insist on spades. And the question is, should we game force on this or should we invite? Now, we've only got 9 points, so some people like to invite with this. I personally would actually just jump to 4 spades. I think this is quite a nice 9-point hand, and I would bid game. And this doesn't give partner any choice, they will just pass. If we did invite and bid 3 spades, this would say, partner, we're playing in spades. Are you minimum or maximum? And if they've only got 15 points, they would pass. And if they had 16 or 17, they would go on to 4 spades here. And this hand, we've got 8 points and 5 spades. So here after 1 no trump, and we bid 2 hearts, the suit under the one we've got. When partner bids 2 spades, again, we're making that evaluation. Do we know we have a fit? Here we've only got 5. Partner might only have 2. So when we've only got 5, we don't just insist on spades, but we offer them something else if we're going to proceed on. So we've got 8 points. We're not a weak hand anymore. Here we're an invitational hand. So what we actually want to do is bid 2 no trumps with this sort of hand. And here partner can either pass if they're minimum with only 2. They can bid 3 no trumps if they're a maximum hand with 2 spades. They can bid 3 spades to say they're minimum with a fit in spades, and bid 4 spades to say they're maximum with a fit in spades. And this is what all the choices that the openers actually got here. So hopefully these examples help illustrate how transfers do. Once you get used to them, they come up a lot. They're not a burden on your memory. You'll pick them up really easy, and they're a fantastic convention to actually play. So I hope this gives you a good understanding of how transfers actually work. If you've got this down, you've got nearly all of transfers down pat. You are good to go. There are more things that I want to talk about, covering some more advanced topics. If you're not ready for that, come back another time. But let's talk about a few other situations that can come up. So the first thing that I want to talk about is super accepts. And there's a few ways that partnerships play super accepts. And for that, what a super accept is basically just saying to a partner, I have good support for you. I've got 4 card support. Now, some partnerships only do super accepts with 4 cards and a maximum. Some people do it with any time you've got 4 cards. And sometimes people can differentiate between the two. But in essence, jumping to 3 of a major shows 4 card support. Now, in your partnership, you can discuss, do we only do it with 4 card support and a maximum? Do we do it anytime we've got 4 card support? There are other bids that you can use. So if you want to, you can use sort of 2 spades, 2 no trumps, 3 clubs, 3 diamonds, all of these as super accepts as well. So if you wanted to do it with weak or strong hands, you can do it. And if you do that, one useful convention to follow up is a retransfer, where if partner bids the transfer suit again, it says, partner, I was trying to get you to accept the transfer. Please do it again. So if you do choose to use a wide array of super accepts, retransfers are good to use there. The next thing that I wanted to touch on is transferring and then bidding a new suit. So if you transfer and bid 3 clubs or 3 diamonds, this should be natural and game forcing, showing at least 5 hearts and at least 4 clubs. And this is a great way to potentially explore minor suit slams and also heart slams. So if you've got some good distribution, you don't only have to insist on either hearts or no trumps. You can bring in a new suit, and this should be game forcing strength. The next thing I wanted to look at is transferring and then bidding the other major. And there is a wide array of ways that you can use this. And it's actually very variable based on what things you put into Stamen. You want to try and unpack, how do you show both majors, either 5-4s or 5-5s, weak, invitational, and game forcing. And what hands you put into Stamen might affect how you do this. So I just want to talk about if you transfer to hearts and then you bid 2 spades. Again, lots of options, but a very common agreement here is that this shows 5 hearts, 4 spades, and an invitational hand. So invitational to game, 5 hearts, 4 spades, and it just tries to keep you at a nice low level for your invitational auctions. There are other ways of playing this. Common agreement, 5 hearts, 4 spades, and an invitational auction. Also, if we transfer in the other fashion, where we transfer to spades first, and then bid 3 hearts, again, lots of different options. One common agreement here is 5-5 in the majors and game forcing strength hand. So few options there. You don't need to play it this way, but it's worthwhile discussing with your partnership what you actually do. So there are a few extra additions to transfers. You don't need to play those last year. I just wanted to round out understandings that people might want to play there. Anyway, I hope this gives you a good understanding of how transfers actually work and you can add them into your game. Thanks all for watching, and we'll see you next time.